Peace to everybody back with another video. This is about R. Kelly's daughter. Says she doesn't have a relationship with him. And in the picture, as you can see here, this is Buku Abi. This is R. Kelly's daughter. And she don't have a relationship with him at all. For a long time, Buku Abi ran away from pursuing music. Although she is the daughter of one of pop music's most popular and successful singer-songwriters, her father is also among the most infamous. He is R. Kelly, currently in jail facing multiple charges of sexual abuse and sex trafficking. So, Buku Abi has ran away from pursuing her music. She is the daughter of R. Kelly. And of course, R. Kelly is currently in jail facing multiple charges of sexual abuse and sex trafficking. I think you get to see a different side of it than somebody who sees it from the outside and gets to see the glitz and glam. I got to see the hell part of it, said 21-year-old Abi, born Joanne Kelly, in a recent interview with the Associated Press. I didn't want to be in the industry. So R. Kelly's daughter did not want to be in the industry at all. She didn't want to. She's 21 years old. She was born Joanne Kelly. And of course, in a recent interview with the Associated Press, she just wanted to be herself, but she got into the music industry even though she didn't want to be. She didn't want no part of it at all. And of course, I think you get to see a different side of it than somebody who sees it from the outside and gets to see the glitz and glam. She got to see the hell part of it. Even before she was born, her father was under scrutiny for his interactions with young women. He has secretly married his then protege Aaliyah when the late R&B sensation was just 15 in 1994. But by the time Abi was a child, while Kelly was still in a multi-platinum star ranking of hit after hit, he was also on trial, accused of child pornography. He would eventually be acquitted in 2008. So before R. Kelly's daughter was born, R. Kelly married Aaliyah, and Aaliyah was 15 years old. And of course, R. Kelly's, I think his manager or whoever it is, forged the age on the marriage certificate to make Aaliyah 18, and she wasn't 18 back then. She was 15 years old, and this was in 1994. And of course, by the time Abi was a child, while Kelly was still a multi-platinum star, he was also on trial accused of child pornography. Abi said going to public school for the first time as an early teen was challenging. There she heard stories about her father that she had not heard before. So there was a lot of things she never heard before. And of course, she's going to a public school for the first time in early teen was challenging. So that it was a challenging to her. And of course, there she heard stories about her father that she had not heard before. So all the things that are going on about her father, she has never heard them. At home, it's normal. You're living a life with your parents. Your dad and mom aren't going to go into all the bad things that might be going on outside of home, she said. But kids in school don't necessarily care. And sixth grade is when I started learning the sore part of it, the not so good part. I think that was the hardest part for me because for so long, I went with this image of who my dad and what my family And of course, at home it's normal. You're living a life with your parents. Your mom and your dad and mom aren't going to go into all the bad things. And of course, but kids in school don't necessarily care. 5th and 6th grade is when she started learning the sore part of it. Things were so bad in school she even contemplated suicide. But though school is where her life almost ended, it's also where she felt it truly began. She recalls singing out on stage in high school during a performance which she said literally felt like drugs. So she allegedly contemplated suicide. And of course, but through those school is where her life almost ended. And of course, for a parent to try to keep their children under control, it's not easy at all, because kids make up their own minds what they want to do as teenagers or as adults. It doesn't matter which one. And she recalls singing on stage in high school during a performance where she said literally felt like drugs, allegedly. I needed more of this, she added. Clearly, I can't keep running from this anymore. Ever since then, I've been in it, and it's literally saved my life. So she's saying that she needed more of this. She also added, clearly, I can't keep running from this anymore. Ever since then, I've been in it, and it's literally saved my life. So it has saved her life. Entering the music business comes with a different challenge for Abby. She can't escape the fact that R. Kelly is her father. She is no longer in touch with him, and says being his daughter is like a double-edged sword. So she has no choice that R. Kelly is her father, even though she has no relationship with him whatsoever. She is no longer in touch with him, so she doesn't want nothing to do with him at all. Of course, entering the music business comes with a different challenge for her. And it is a lot of challenges to overcome everything, especially when you are entering the music business. You sell your soul to the devil all the time, and this is why the music industry is evil, because of all the Illuminati that's going on and everything else. I definitely run across challenges. People wanting to work with me to spite him, or people not wanting to work with me just because of who he is, she said. I've definitely come across turmoil, being judged for really no reason at all. Just based off associations, I've been pushing through it. Me marketing or making the art, it saved my life. So there's nothing really that would be able to stop me. So she's saying there's nothing that could stop her. She's definitely run across challenges. People wanting to work with me to spite him, or people not wanting to work with me just because of who he is. And this is what she is saying. She also says, I definitely come across turmoil, and of course being judged for really no reason at all. And of course, with Abby, she doesn't want to be judged at all. And of course, she has never will have a relationship with R. Kelly. Abby decided not to use the name her parents gave her in her career. She settled on the stage name Buku Abby about 3 years ago, after first going by the name I Ray. In the last 5 years, she's been hard at work on her debut EP, Don't Call Me, released this March. His sister, Ja Kelly, produced the album, which echoes Za and other millennial artists in the alternative R&B world. So she decided to have on her stage name to be Buku Abi. And of course, she doesn't want to be called the name that she was given with. And of course, in the last 5 years, she's been hard at work on her debut EP, Don't Call Me. And it was released this March of this year. Her sister, John Kelly, produced the album. When it comes to making music, she doesn't deny that where she and her father connect. There's a lot about him as an artist that inspires me. Alright, so there's a lot of artists that inspires her, and of course there's a lot about him as an artist, obviously. But when it comes to making music, she doesn't deny that's where she and her father connect. He has made mistakes in his life and other things that he's dealing with, but when it comes to that, I can't take that away from him, she said. That's the one thing that will always keep us connected. So yeah, R. Kelly has made a lot of mistakes in his life. And what parent hasn't made mistakes in their life? Every single parent do make mistakes. And if you think there's a perfect parent, guess again. There's no such thing as perfect. We fall short of God every single day. And of course, she says she can't take that away from him. She said that's the one thing that will always keep us connected. Abby once thought she and her father would mend things under her former stage name, Ray. She collaborated with him on the song Wanna Be There, a plea to restore their broken relationship. It appears on his 2015 album, The Buffet. Now, I don't know anything about that album called The Buffet because I never heard of that one before. Abby once thought she and her father would mend things under her former stage name. She collaborated with him on the song Wanna Be There. And of course it was a plea to restore their broken relationship, but she doesn't want nothing to do with him. She don't want to have no contact or anything with him. When you conquer the world, I just want to be there. But no matter how successful, baby girl, when you need someone to lean on, I just want to be your shoulder. R. Kelly sings to Abby on the song. So R. Kelly has sang the song, I just want to be your shoulder. And it was to Abby. And of course, when you conquer the world, I just want to be there. At that time, I was in a place where I was generally trying to have a relationship with my father, she said. But it was so complicated at that time, as it always is. It was a great experience. I'm glad that I did it. But it just wasn't like what anybody assumed. And that's the part that sucks. It wasn't this big kumbaya moment. Alright, so she said, but it was so complicated at that time. And of course, it is complicated when you try to have a relationship with your parents, and it's not that easy at all. She said, at that time, I was in a place where I was generally trying to have a relationship with my father. And it is so complicated a lot of times. Some children do have good relationships with their parents and some don't. And of course, you know what, but it just wasn't like what everybody assumed. And that's the part that sucks. It wasn't that big kumbaya moment. R. Kelly is currently in a Chicago jail. He pleaded not guilty in federal court to charges that he sexually abused women and girls who attended his concerts there. He has been accused of using his fame to recruit young women and girls into illegal sexual activity, and has also been charged in Chicago and Minnesota for separate incidents. while he had been dogged by allegations that he abused women for years. A charge he denies. Scrutiny from January's highly rated Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which detailed multiple allegations against him, led to new investigations and new charges. Among his legal troubles is also a backlog in child support for his children, including Abby. So R. Kelly is currently in a Chicago jail. He pleaded not guilty in federal court to charges that he sexually abused women and girls who attended his concerts there. Well, first of all, no child should go by themselves at all. None whatsoever. Parents should go with their children to make sure they are safe. If you let a child go by themselves, then yes, something bad is going to happen, and then you're going to wonder, you're going to be pulling your hair out, literally, because you don't know where your child is. And of course, says he has been accused of using his fame to recruit young women and girls into illegal sexual activity, and has also been charged in Chicago and Minnesota for separate incidents. So he has charges all over the place. It doesn't matter. It's here in New York, it's Chicago, Illinois, it's Minnesota, Atlanta, Georgia, anywhere that he could be having them. And it's everywhere. And of course, he had his legal troubles of child support for his children, including Abby. Abby says she tries not to pay attention to the daily updates about her father. I don't let that be a part of my everyday life. So Abby is saying she tries not to pay attention to the daily updates about her father because she don't want to hear about it. She also says, I don't let that be a part of my everyday life. So she has her own life. She does not want to hear nothing about him. We don't have a relationship, so it's not like me to check in on him, she said. I don't personally go look it all up and read. I keep myself out of it. And that's what Abby does. She keeps herself out of it. She doesn't want to go look up anything and nothing like that. Abby currently lives in Atlanta and appeared on the WeTV reality series Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta alongside her mother and R. Kelly's ex-wife, choreographer Drea Kelly. So Abby lives in Atlanta, Georgia right now. And of course she appeared on WeTV reality series Growing Up Hip Hop. And it's alongside with her mother and R. Kelly's ex-wife, choreographer Drea Kelly. So they both are on that reality series, and me, I don't watch it, so I have no idea what's going on with that show at all because I never watch it. Just watching my baby grow into this young woman and be unapologetic about who she is and what she stands for and what she believes. Really just being her own artist and owning her artistry and not coming out trying to be or ride the tail of being R. Kelly's daughter. She's really going at this alone, and that's what brings her pride. Drea Kelly said, I'm elated. So, of course, just watching my baby grow, this is what Drea Kelly is saying into this young woman and be unapologetic about who she is and what she stands for. So she's pretty much standing alone. Abby is. She does not coming out trying to be or ride the tail of being R. Kelly's daughter. So Abby is being Abby. She doesn't want to get in the middle of nothing. She's staying out of it. But Drea Kelly, who was featured in Surviving R. Kelly and has accused her former husband of domestic abuse, has also been disheartened by what she sees as the public blaming Abby for Kelly's alleged misdeeds. So Drea Kelly was also featured in Surviving R. Kelly, and of course there's going to be another one soon. I don't know when. And of course she has accused her former husband of domestic abuse. She has also been disheartened by what she sees as the public blaming Avi for Kelly's alleged misdeeds. But do we know for sure what really happened? No, we don't know what really happened. All these women came out and told their stories about what R. Kelly has done to them. I mean, there was non-stop interviews. And all these women, they were allegedly there. We wasn't. So the women who accused R. Kelly of doing all this was allegedly there. If your mom has an addiction, should everybody judge you off your mom's addiction? Everyone would say no. But then, why is it okay for people to do it to my children simply because of who he is? Said Kelly, who has 3 children with the singer. I've taught Buku. I've taught all my children. You don't wait for the world to give you a shot. You go out there and take your shot. And she's right. Drea Kelly is right. She taught her children about not waiting for the world to give you a shot. You go out there and take your shot. And she's right about that part. Children should not wait for anything to come to them. They need to go to it. Make that challenge. Go do it and don't look back. Of course, she also asked, if your mom has an addiction, should everybody judge you off your mom's addiction? I would say no, because everybody has their faults and flaws, of course, and everybody who has that problem, yes, people do talk about it, but it doesn't mean you gotta go judging people about it. Abby says the foul words she heard in school that almost caused her to end her life has prepared her for what's to come. Growing up has given me an armor almost. So Abby says says the foul words she heard in school, and we all know what those foul words are, most of us, that almost caused her to end her life, has prepared her for what's to come. So Abby is preparing for what's to come. Growing up has given me an armor almost. I just wanted people to know that at the end of the day, the stereotypes that you may have for other people, whether it be about race, sexuality, their financial status, don't judge a book by its cover, because 9 times out of 10 you're completely wrong, she said. I want to be an example of that. So that's what Abby wants. She wants to be an example out of it. But then she's also said, don't judge a book by its cover, because 9 out of 10 times you're completely wrong. And of course, she also says, I just want people to know that at the end of the day, the stereotypes that you may have for other people, whether it's about race, sexuality, their financial status, and that's what it is. And of course, children are not always right about everything, but there's some things they are right about. And of course, in Abby's case, she doesn't want nothing to do with her father. She decided to not have a relationship with him. It was her decision. Nobody else told her, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. No, it was all by herself, what she wanted, because she's a grown woman and she could do whatever she wants. And she says she don't want a relationship with him. That's her decision, not her mom's, not her sister, not anybody. It's all by herself. because she does not want to hear nothing else about her father. And I know she tries to ignore everything what is going on, but Abby is really trying really hard to make herself more better, and it's not easy. It's hard every time, but she did not ask to be in the music industry at all. She really didn't. So, I mean, it's really hard that you have to deal with things that you don't want to deal with. And in Abby's case, she's overcoming challenges here and there of what she wants to do with herself. And she's doing just fine without her father, R. Kelly. Leave your comments below. I am out.